Hey guys, I have a used journal collection video for you today, and these are my favorite types of videos to watch, used journal collections, so I thought I'd make one too, and I'll start out with my first journal ever. I've been journaling almost 13 years, and regularly. I'd had diaries on and off as a kid, but this is the first one that started all this crap. This one's from fall 2006, early 2007, and I loved this thing. It was, I want to say it was called Barnes and Noble leather wrapped traveler's journal, and they don't make them anymore. But it had like pin slots here, and the leather felt soft, and the paper was beige and felt nice. And like I kept trying to get into journaling for so many years, and the no journal ever had inspired me to that point. Either the paper was bad, like bleach white, or just felt cheap overall or something. But this one finally did. I liked it enough to use multiple ones over the years. This one, well, might as well just go with one right here. This one I put this cover on it recently, but it came in this type of cover back then. I had cut up a pillowcase in like 2007 or 2008 and made a different cover. I never liked it, so I just decided to put it back in one of these. And this journal covered I moved across the country and switching schools and jobs and or job hunting really. Um, and everything. I was reading through this the other day. It was really special. I might do a video on maybe all three of these or something. Let me know if anyone cares or like anyone wants to see that or anything. This though is one of my favorite journals. Like top five favorite ever. It's 600 pages. It's inspiringly thick. That's not what you said, but yeah, it's huge. And this was so inspiring that I used this thing in 3 months. I've never written so much before or since, but it was so perfect at the time. I actually tried to use one of these this year, but it just didn't work out this year. I didn't have that kind of need to, just write and write endlessly. But yeah, this one was definitely a favorite, and I can't. I've tried to make this video so many times. I can't remember if I've said that I actually cleaned up my used journals recently. I got rid of about 27 or 28 of them, and I've got a video on those later why I got rid of them. But it was mostly just because those were ones I'd rushed through or never really connected with and really shared, my life and heart with or anything. It was just kind of they're rushed through or, bad paper or the type of journal just didn't work for me. So anyway, the ones I have left are more special and they're not so crowded in here. I can access them better. And they're just more special. They're the ones that I really bonded with and put a lot, of my life into. So anyway, this is one of my favorite journals too, and it got spray paint on it from another journal that I got rid of. Um, but I got this one in Barnes and Noble. It was a Florentine. I can never remember which the brand name is, but it had gold edges, and it's got it's a hardcover, but it has a bit of a cushion to it, and it just reminds me of being in like an ancient library or a ancient library, old library and an old library in an ancient mansion or something. It's just, I don't know, I just love that one. Uh, okay, the strings are in the way. I just said how like easy it was to access these, and it's kind of apparently not. This one is from 2007, and um, then I kind of got on a kick of using this type back in. I realized my floor is dirty. I really should, clean. But I decided to do this instead. This one is from I used in 2015. And this is about a 5x7. That's kind of my favorite size of journals is over the years have been 5x7. I used a lot of pocket ones back in the day, but I decided to switch. I used pocket moleskins for a number of years. That's what most of these are, the little tiny ones. But back in fall 2013, I decided to switch journals. I used this gigantic thick one, and then kind of after that, I got more into just trying out different sizes and styles of journals, and ended up with a larger blank journal collection just because it was so fun to switch out journals and try different styles, and this was one of the types that I tried not too long after that. I wish the clasp was in the center, but it's got decorative edges, and I used a collage in here with paint, and that actually took it, the paper could handle that, so that was cool. Another 2007 one. This one I kept in my bag a lot, and I would write just random places where I was, usually like on campus or just that's kind of probably about it in bed. Um, but I was living in DC and just kept it with me just in case I felt like writing anywhere else. I wish I could say I was like, yeah, I wrote on the steps of the Lincoln Memorial every day or something, but like I didn't really go outside because I was just so like tired after a school or work day or whatever, that I didn't really go sightseeing after like just on any given day. I really go out because I like to go home and just be left alone. um, but yeah, these older journals are particularly special. It's amazing how much of your like our lives that we forget, um, unless we have journals, photos, something. This is a 2015 one. I like to decorate the covers of most of my journals a little bit, either CEO them or just do something to make it more mine. This one I collaged more. I really like the type of cover this is. It's paper, but it's kind of like a matte finish with embossed gold on it. How's that for like accuracy? Gold crap on it. But it just makes it, I don't know, I like how it feels, kind of, it's not shiny and glossy, so it's got a grip to it, I guess is what I'm trying to go with there. But, and then this one is a vintage, C.R. Gibson markings journal that I actually like had written a few pages when I was a kid just for um, this is some kind of kid or youth organization. We took some notes. I just took a few pages of notes in here, and then it just sat there for years. And then I finally used it in 2017, and I added an elastic. And I like journals that have some kind of elastic or clasp or something to keep them closed. Kind of makes them feel like they're more private, and it's also practical. If I add a lot of crap in a journal, so it doesn't fall out as much when there's some kind of something to keep it closed. Oh yeah, this is my journal storage. It's a giant foot locker, and I have been using a foot locker for probably 5 years or something to store journals. And I have an orange one that I had these in, but I ended up switching because I want it to be just like a plain neutral color so I can keep it in my room and it match. And then the orange one I've got vintage, like childhood mementos and trinkets in. It's another 2014 one. You can see I collaged kind of a lot in here. These covers are paper, but they look like etched metal. This one's really pretty. I kind of can't. It's kind of hard to remember like which ones I use. I'm like I could have sworn I had a blue one of these, but maybe I didn't. Like with the same exact design. I guess I never did. That's interesting. Huh. For so long, I had been really tempted to get a blue one back then, so I guess it's fine. I can't remember if I actually had one or not, but apparently I did not have one. Anyway, this is one of my favorites that I've ever used. I used this in 2018, and the leather smelled amazing, and the paper was beige. I don't like the deckled edges that stuff got over everything, but yeah, I filled this in probably a little bit over a month. It felt so nice. I've actually got another one of these. I'm using as a current journal now, just because I liked it that much. Then this 2014 one. This is a markings one, C.R. Gibson markings, and I collaged some in here, and it is really puffy still. Then this one, a handful of years ago, I used a Sharpie marker and just wrote the year on all of them. I don't label journals like what volume they are or anything, so I have no idea how many I've used, but I think this is probably about 50 something, and then I got rid of about 27, 28 used journals, so I think I had maybe 70 to 80 used ones. I've seen a lot of people label them. I'm kind of tempted to label volumes, but that would be a lot of effort, so I don't. I don't know. I don't really want to have to go through and label everything. Back probably 2013 or something, I ended up getting some kind of address labels that had my full name on it. And just went through every journal that I had and stuck it in there, just because I wanted to. If anyone ever came across that journal, after I was dead, one day, I wanted to like someone to know whose journal that was, like 100, 200 years ago or whatever. Not that I think my journals will last 200 years, but if anyone stumbles on them, in 100 years, I just thought it'd be cool if it had my full name, so someone could be like, oh, well, that was so and so's journal who lived in this city in that year and type of thing. I haven't done that in a long time, but I do write my about me page in every journal with like name, address, occupation, favorite hobbies, movies, and just like kind of basic bio. So yeah, this one. And then this one was it's such a random design. There's surprisingly few orange journals in the world. I have three, and kind of my lifelong favorite color. I'm more into lavender, I like pastel lavender now, like that one. But this one, I don't really like polka dots, but this one was from 2016, and I really like this type. This was I'm pretty sure it's Florentina, one of the made in Italy ones, and I found this one Fleabay, and it's getting a little bit dirty, but I like the size. It's 5x7. It's got a bit of a cushion to it, kind of like that other red one right there. And then this one I filled in a month, and it was right after this is really heavy. I collaged so much in it. I didn't really write much because I just couldn't think of words for a lot of things. I had a lot going on. I was trying to find a job, and I had a brother who had just died around that time, um, and just some family friends I had known my whole life, and a few relatives and whatever. So I just didn't really feel like writing words, so I started collaging a lot, and that actually really helped. I eventually started getting back. It just if you can't think of words like I can't right now, collaging can be really helpful. This one is another of my favorites. This is from 2008, and it's another Markings C.R. Gibson, or maybe it's just C.R. Gibson, I don't really know. But I've never been able to find another one, and it just looks so vintage and quaint. It's got gold edges. I got it at Big Lots for $5 in 2008. But yeah, I've never been able to find another one. I really want one. And this gigantic thing. So this is, I glued on there. This is from my childhood shoe that for some reason I still had a bow from. It was one of those things that like those patent leather shoes that you have little clip-on like bows and other things that you could put on them. So I still had one of the bows from those old shoes. And then I added sequins. I think that's from 2015 or 16. Oh yeah, it's 2016. But it's from Paper Chase and it's gigantic. The paper is kind of bleach white, but I still really enjoyed this one. It's a fabric cover and it's just really different, and I really like that one. And then I added this, which really helped. Then because they're not fitting that well, but at least they fit better than it did. I like that it's just, I don't know, less stuff and just generally easier to look through my collection. Okay, I'm just gonna like marathon it out. Some little moleskins I used a number of years ago. Like I guess this wasn't really a marathon, but just like quick out. This is a Mead when I got at Walmart back in 2008. A little moleskin from 2009. I had some of these that I cleaned out that I had Mod Podge. This one's Mod Podge too, and they stick together because I didn't put enough glue. Actually, this one's not Mod Podge. For some reason, in 2007, I found it necessary to put rubber ducky stickers and like fabric glitter glue on there. Then this one. This one this was from 2007. I painted it with glitter nail polish, I'm pretty sure. Part of it, and then I put some stickers on it, and then I found some ribbon in my like grandma's sewing case. I wrapped it in fabric. It's just a weird combination of things I tried to do to that to decorate it. But this one's pretty old. This is one of the ones that I decorated with Mod Podge, and I never put a sealer on it, so it just sticks to everything. And then I really should like take it out and seal it and stuff, but then this one, and this is the only reporter style notebook that I filled, and this one I had a work trip on a train, and I wrote in here that I felt like Hemingway riding on a train. It's really cheesy, but it still cracks me up. This one's a limited edition moleskin. Alright, what else? This one I had bought in 2007, and it had been sitting there waiting to be used for so many years, and I finally used it in 2017. Let's see. I guess it doesn't really matter what year it is, but I don't know. I just think it's interesting to see like how designs change over the years. I guess this is 2016, and I really wrote a lot of like deeply personal stuff in here. But I also put I made some clothes quilts, like quilts out of old clothes. I put some of those in here, so that's what the fabric coming out of it is. And I'm still working on that clothes quilt too. It's like a paper piecing quilt with like hexagon shapes out of old clothes. This is a long video already. Okay, it's 2018. Okay, I'm just gonna like do this. 2018. Another 2018. I've never used this. This is the only spiral journal I've ever filled, and I actually really liked it. So I've got another one of these in a different design. It's a giraffe, which I've never really been into like woodland creatures like that, but I really liked that one for some reason. This one's just an old planner, but I kept it in here anyway. Markings, I got at Big Lots also. This one is I got this one at Walgreens. I took this around the city I did Times Square again, or for New Year's, and I carried this around the city, and I ended up collaging with it. It's got a lot of like really personal stuff in there, mostly from the collages. I like how collaging you can be really personal, but other people wouldn't really know like what the exact meaning of whatever was. I covered up the design, but it's from Walgreens. It's a really kind of a random brand I never heard of before then. My late grandpa had given me Christmas money, so I bought this with it, and then he died. Like not as a result of that, but it's really special. This is also like a year or two before that, he'd given me Christmas money that year or two. And then I'd wanted one of these journals for over a decade, so I finally got one because I wanted to have some special gift from him that I could use again later if I wanted to. This is from 2018. It's from Toys R Us. Claire's within Toys R Us, and it's just it's fuzzy holographic glitter. It's got so much going on. It's just like holy crap. But I'm really glad to have that as like a keepsake from Toys R Us, and I used part of the bag from Toys R Us to really make it like theme it out inside the cover. This is the only one of those gigantic Italian leather journals from Barnes & Noble that I actually filled ever. And this one, I added this, and now it looks all kind of gross, really. Might just remove that off. But anyway, I had never been able to fully fill these just because they don't lay flat and they're really bulky. And this one I thinned out before I used it, so it really works so much better. It lays flat better. It's not so physically heavy, and I really enjoyed using that because of this. I mean, this one because of that. And we're almost done. Is anyone still watching this? Let me know. This one I got in 2007, and I wrote a few pages. When I used to buy blank journals, I'd write in like a summary of that semester or an about me page and stuff. So I have some writing in here, like a handful of pages from 2007, and then I put it away. I ended up losing it for a while, and then eventually found it and used it in 2018. So I've got some pages from 2007 and then from 2018. I really thought that was cool to have kind of a note from my past in here. I put tape on it because the leather was kind of getting a little, like part was coming off because it's so old, like me. This one's an old line a day one, and I just kind of put my like theme journals like that on the side. About to sneeze. Death. um, anyway, um, these two are Piccadilly medium essential journals, and they don't make these anymore. I love the color. I've been trying to find another, but for some reason I tend to use these in the summer. I used one in like 2017 summer and then 2018 summer and or 15. I think it was 15 and okay, now I've got to find out. 2015 and 17. But anyway, I like how the covers are kind of thicker than even like C.R. Gibson markings. That this their style of this covers are thicker and the paper is pretty thin in these, but it kind of makes you want to write because the lines are kind of like thin spacing. I do plan on doing a few videos whenever I get a chance to like show actual writing from these, but I had so much from like school, work, family, their situations, like friends, issues and stuff. And I write everyone's full name because I want to be able to remember who exactly, like who or what I was talking about at the time, and like what city, what neighborhood. So flipping through would kind of show other people's like personal issues, and I don't want to do that. But anyway, I really liked these. I used one in 2018, like a blue one, and it just didn't do it for me. But then, you kind of, I don't know. I like how well, not really. I think it's interesting how certain journals can work at one time in life. Like this one worked in 2013, but I tried to use another one this year and it just didn't work. So it's interesting how journals can just your like desires for what type of journal, what size, paper, design can change over the years, and how sometimes there can only be one. Like you can use it and love it once, but if you try to do that same thing again, it's kind of like meh, and it doesn't work out later in life. Like even with living in a city, you can love it at one point in your life and then live there again and just not work out. Done that before. uh, or dating the same person, or I haven't done that really, or at least not like 10 years later, some significant amount. But anyway, I hope this was mildly interesting. Let me know if anyone's still watching, and if you have any video ideas, it'd be kind of easy or quick to make. Let me know too. And yeah, this is my collection now. I've got my used theme journals in here, autobiography journals, plus my normal daily journals, and then uh, yeah, I keep my blank journal separately. So let me know if you want a blank journal collection. Anyway, have a good night. Bye.